Good morning. I'm Georges LINARÈS. I'm the Vice President for Research of Avignon University. Welcome to Avignon University. It's my pleasure to do this short talk just to say how much we are glad to host this GenTree final conference. Avignon University is a small university, about 7,500 students, that defined 10 years ago two main axes for its researchers. The first one is about cultural heritage and digital humanities, but these points are mostly of interest for the time you will spend out of the conference. The second axis is about agro-sciences. I'm not sure that the word really exists in English, but it's sciences related to food production and processing. The choice of these domains was naturally driven by the strength of our university, both from a research and teaching point of view. But it also relies on the cultural, social, and economic environment. Research, teaching, and industry constitute something like an ecosystem where university takes a critical place. Our research activities on agro-science domain relies on the collaboration we developed the last 10 years with INRAE, that became INRAE. We share research units, doctoral school, federative cluster thesis, technical platforms, and so on. In fact, most of the great projects we led the last years were shared with INRAE. It's a win-win partnership, and it's one of the reasons why we are so glad to host to support this conference. Last, Avignon is a good choice for working, but also because it's a very nice city. You should spend a couple of hours to visit the Pope Palace, that is the biggest Gothic palace in all Europe, a very famous bridge, in fact a very famous song about a bridge. Avignon is also a city of Côte d'Or, very good fruity wine. So thank you so much for being here. Many thanks to the organization committee and to my colleagues who worked to organize this meeting. Have a good conference and enjoy your stay in our university, in our city. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am Jean-Philippe NABOT, so president of INRAE Center in Provence-Alpes-Côte d'Azur. So probably you know that INRAE is now at the place of INRAE and IRSTEA. So INRAE, of course, is also well known. So I hope that INRAE will be also well known throughout the world. So you know, INRAE is a National Research Institute for Agriculture, Food and Environment. So it's a very broad program, but of course we are very concerned by the important issues of this domain. So I am glad to open with my colleague Georges LINARÈS this conference, Genetics to the Rescue, Managing Forests Sustainably in a Changing World. So in fact, this Congress on Avignon is also important for our territory, as it's one of the main territory in the area of Provence, but also at the national stage. And we have also, you know, Avignon University and INRAE, many numerous international cooperation in many fields related to forest, fruit, vegetables mainly, and also now natural risks in our new frame. So we are dealing with forest today. You are dealing with forest today, and what do we want with forest? In fact, I could say that we want to keep them, and we want also to use them. but this use has to be sustainable, and you share because you are here. I suppose that you share that it's a major issue of the 21st centuries. So the context, of course, you know, it's global change, including climate change. So I suppose that for all of us, it's an evidence that there is a change. You know, when you hear some media, some TV, some newspaper, when you read some newspapers, that perhaps some people think that there is no climate change. Of course, you know that it's an evidence that there is, not only because we got some information, but also that because that we can see it in our life, in our normal life, and of course in our research. It's one of our main goals. So the question is not if there is, the question is how can we adapt, how can we mitigate the climate change? And of course we today are here to share some information, some research results concerning mainly forest. And these forests, of course, I mean forests in a very broad meaning. We are waiting from them also numerous ecosystem service. Of course, basic wood use, but also raw materials, renewable energies, contribution to mitigating climate change, and also, I mean, a space, an area for sociocultural activities. And we have also, not to forget, but you are also here for that, that forest is also habitats that are suitable for nature conservation and for nature biodiversity in general. So today you will have different talks about genetic diversity, which is of course a key element for adaptability and also for keeping our biodiversity. I am not a specialist, but I think that forested areas, forested land have a high biodiversity, and that means that they can also adapt to changes through different natural processes, such as gene flows or natural selection. You will, of course, have some exchange on this matter, which are, of course, absolutely important. Also, there is, we also deal with climate change, with global change. Of course, the Earth has already known very big changes, but probably not so quickly. And so this is a real goal, a real issue, of course, a fundamental issue. And we have to, of course, it's our, we researchers, teachers to produce knowledge, and this knowledge, for example, about genomics, phenotypic traits, for example, environmental, but also politics. And this can open new perspective, new area of research in the future in order to better understand how change and resistance, I should say, to this change can be understood, and then, of course, through modeling, through different results, be used for keeping our forest and our environment, and why not to redevelop biodiversity. So the conference will present many results obtained this last year in these fields, and I hope that will help us to manage forests in a sustainable way. Another point I would like to underline is that this conference has also a carbon imprint. So what shall we do? The idea is to compensate them. The print is estimated at about 50 tons. And a gift has been made by the organizers for a reforestation project dedicated, of course, to the reduction of green gases emission. This project will allow to plant various trees, which how can I say it? Which resist to drought, and this will be realized in the southeast of France, not so far from Avignon. This is also an important point because it shows also how we are engaged in this action, in this fight. I should say a fight, because we have to fight against rapid changes, adapt and mitigate them. Finally, INRAE also is mainly represented in this conference by the Unité de Recherche Écologie des Forêts Méditerranéennes d'Avignon, so Mediterranean Forest Ecology. Bruno FADY is the deputy director of this laboratory, of this unit, and also I would like also to thank him and the other organizers for the organization of the meeting, which I know it's a very big job. So in this unit, they study mainly water use and carbon balance in forest. They study also the adaptation dynamics of population that contribute to adapt forest trees to climate change. They also study the role of insects, and finally they also study fire ecology, using mainly, largely, numerical simulation to simulate the effect of fire propagation, and to characterize also the forest fuel. Of course, you know that we heard a lot, all of us, from events in Australia, very dramatic events, but we are also that kind of events in our area, and of course the skills that we have here are very important also for this purpose. Okay, GenTree is and finally to conclude, GenTree is a European project, an important project with 8 million euros in the frame of Horizon 2020 of the European Union program, and 22 organizations contribute to this project. Not only research, but also companies, various companies, and it gives the opportunity to gather many experts, many skills for people that have a very long experience in this domain. And the project, as you know, is coordinated by INRAE. So perhaps it was a little bit long, but I wish you very fruitful exchanges, very fruitful conference. You know, the goal is important, so we need all of this to go forward in the good direction, of course. Thank you very much.
Welcome. Welcome to the #RescueForest conference. I'm very happy to see many of you here today, old acquaintances and new faces. That's a good sign. Not just old people, but also young people, so that's great. That's the positive side of things. On the negative side, I hope you will not find me too pessimistic if I say that I don't really trust that the implementation of the regional, national, and international political agreements on climate change and biodiversity will be enough to really protect our forests now and up to the end of the 21st century. Which means that we may not be able to curb climate change up to 2 degrees, as promised. And it means that for forests, well, they really may have to rely on natural processes for most of their future resilience and adaptation. Obviously, genetic diversity is a major component of this. genetic diversity, meaning individual diversity, is the raw material upon which evolution can act. This is a message we have to send. This is a message that's not often heard and understood. Our also goal is to produce knowledge on this, and that's what's going to happen today in this conference, today and tomorrow. The conference is about genetics, it's about forests, it's about diversity, it's about how diversity is structured in space. It is also about local adaptation, how local is really local, and how much of the genome it involves. It is also about phenotypes, about their diversity. It is also about conservation and how to use genetic diversity. Again, our hashtag rescue forests means that either naturally or by means of management, we can help forests, or forests can help sustain themselves from the constraints that we humans have set upon them since the Industrial Revolution. All right, so the conference presentations themselves involve both experimental and model results. Participants are coming from very different fields, of course, population genetics, quantitative genetics, functional ecology, forestry, but also socioeconomics and political sciences. Other participants, I'm also very happy to say, are coming from forest management, from forest administration and forest policy agencies. Differences among individual trees and populations within species are critical for adaptation, and may be the processes that forest managers can somehow harness for sustainable management under uncertain conditions and uncertain environmental and socioeconomic conditions. This is why the results presenting during this conference, two-day conference, will be discussed on Thursday during a stakeholder consultation. The weather also has decided to welcome you. You know, usually in Avignon in January, the wind velocity is about 2,000 kilometers per hour. People walk like this. They hold their children like this so they don't fly away. You know, it's crazy. But it's nice. It's even a little bit, rainy. That's good. That's a good thing. But we thought that you guys would be cold, so we decided to put this in your conference package. This scarf, which can, keep your necks warm. It also has a nice logo of GenTree, the one of the organizers of the conference on it. So don't hesitate to wear it. It's bio-sourced. It's 100% sustainable stuff. So we're taking care of you. We don't want you to catch cold. But anyway, the weather is nice. It looks like it's going to be almost nice every day, so that's good. But remember, it's even though it's the Mediterranean, it's winter here as well. It gets cold. In the conference bag, you also have on the conference bag, there is a slogan, which we feel that could also engage people not interested in genetics into understanding that genetics are important. There's also a set of postcards in there that you're free to use, obviously. They were taken from mostly field sites from the GenTree project. There's also a photo exhibit on the ground floor here, which is manned by people who actually were involved in the different sites of GenTree. So don't hesitate to go there, look at the pictures. Some of you may recognize themselves as well. And don't hesitate to ask the questions to the INRAE staff who are operating the exhibit. They know, they were there. Now, about the conference, it's organized in 4 sessions, as you probably saw from the, when the website was not down, you probably saw that. Hopefully it's back up. That's good. Each session is a half-a-day session. There's a coffee break in the middle, and it's introduced each time by a keynote lecture, 35 minutes plus 5 minutes question. And the other lectures are 15 minutes plus 30 minutes, 5 minutes questions. So we have decided that because many people are football fans in this organization, to use a system of warning you only a few minutes left and your time is definitely up. So when you see these things, you will know. I leave them up here. Other methods are welcome, of course. You don't have to use this, but whatever, this is helpful. We also have posters. The poster sessions are organized during coffee breaks. So coffee breaks are going to be outside of the conference hall, and the poster room is next to the conference hall. So go there, look at the posters. You could go there at every coffee break for session 1, 2, 3, and 4. You can also go whenever. I suggest that the people of each session are with their poster if they are affiliated with the session. That would be nice. We will have an award for best poster, which will be announced at the conference social buffet, I could say, on Wednesday night. So stay until Wednesday night. As I said, the conference will be followed on Thursday by a stakeholder consultation, which is organized by U4Gen, the European program for, sorry, I always mix up, Forest Genetic Resources Program, U4Gen. And in parallel, there will be a genomics training session co-sponsored by GenTree and EvolTree. And on Friday, on the last day of the week, we will have a Wikipedia editing session, which will teach us how to enter information, validated information into this widely used resource and spread the word about genetic diversity and all of the other terms that I've used. So that session is organized by GenTree. So before I give the floor to the session chair, the first of the morning, I'd like to thank everyone who helped. First, the University of Avignon, who offered the rooms. Then INRAE, so I have a hard time saying our new name. INRAE, whatever. The city of Avignon, who welcomed us yesterday. The Network of Excellence EvolTree. The International Union of Forest Research Organizations, UFRO, the European Forest Genetic Resources Program, U4Gen, and finally the Horizon 2020 project, GenTree. I'm very happy to announce that we have a science piece this morning in the Science magazine about this conference and about GenTree, so have a look at Science Mag. And I would very much like to thank the team from my lab, the Ecology of Mediterranean Forest Lab, who did all the organization, prepared everything. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, ask them. They will, most of them, well, the ones you can talk to will wear this captain band, you know, on their arms. They will be recognizable. Again, some football stuff. Once again, welcome. And let the conference begin.